Welcome to Xtra presented by VDG Sports. I am your host, Vince Douglas Gregory. No filter. Very censored. You can follow Xtra on the Twitter bird at Xtra VDG. I believe that's it. I believe is it. If not, get back at me. And you can get back at me at Vince D. Gregory. That's my handle. But you can follow Xtra at Xtra VDG. I really was not going to do a New Year's resolution or revolution, depending on who you are. But I guess if I was in the land of make-believe, if I was all about fabricating, if I was all about just putting stuff out there to put stuff out there because it is the thing to do, then I would have this as my New Year's resolution, because it is not only is it the next step forward, but it is making sure that this don't ever happen again. Just making sure that this does not happen again. And then I'm going to go into extreme details about this. I've mentioned it in passing before. You can go back and check the historical documents. I mentioned it once before, but now I am going to say why, and I'm just going to ignore all the other stuff that I said the last time. Not the New Year's resolution or revolution stuff, but this in particular. Noobs, thank you for giving me an opportunity. Thank you for giving me a chance. That's all I ever want. That's all I ever asked for. If it's 1 second, 2 second, the entire episode, or you become a reg, that is good to the great. Yeah, it is. Appreciate you. I really, really do. Regs, we back at it again. Regs, we do what we do. Regs, this feels and seems like every single day. But it's not every single day. It just feels that way. But we got this special, yes, unique bond that we share. Sharing is caring on some things. I have to add that caveat because the world has changed. The world is different. The new don't mean the new. The new means some other things. And this is a family program. This is a family show. And I try to keep it PG-13. I try to keep it PG-13. It ain't all, but sometime when I have to go all, I say earmuffs. Or I just get creative with it. Or I just make some analogies, make some comparisons, make some allegories and all of those things to get the point across. Most time it works, and 0.00002% of the time it does not work. Meanwhile, that ain't what you're here for. And that's not why I'm here. I'm here so I don't get fired. I am here so I don't have to go away. I am here to share with you the imaginary New Year's resolution or revolution that I would have if I was still into that. Because if you know regs, but noobs, you have no clue. Here's the Vince's notes. I stopped doing that and I just don't do it anymore. I just try to focus and improve on what I need to focus and improve on. And I don't need to make this arbitrary thing as something that I need to strive for within the year, because when I meet that goal in 3 months within the year, a quarter within the year, then what? What's next? Am I just going to pat myself on the back because, hey, I've done this for these many months? and I am finished. I am complete. Where's my cookies? Where's my ice cream? Where are my sprinkles? Where are my sprinkles? Now, I need my sprinkles. I really and truly do. And that was always the issue. That used to come up a lot where I had a New Year's resolution, and before half of the year through, I've already reached those goals. And it wasn't something that was trivial. It wasn't something that was easy. It was something that required a little and a lot of work, and putting in that work and getting it accomplished and done early. That was it. And so instead of just resting on my laurels and being happy and being ecstatic and start buying into my own hype, instead of doing that, I just said, you know what? I ain't gonna do this no more. I'm just gonna have some things that I like to do and accomplish and set out for the year. And if I get one of those done, there are more to follow. There are more to follow. And I just look at it that way. I just look at it that way. And that's where I am in this game. And that's why I say, if I were to this time around have this imaginary New Year's revolution or resolution, it would be this. It would be this. I ain't gonna keep stuff that I ain't used in a long period of time. If I purchase something, if I got something, and if I ain't used it within the first year, there's a 99.8% chance that I'm not going to use it ever, unless it has something to do with clothing. And if it has something to do with clothing, I got it on a schedule. And if I have it on a schedule, I'm rotating through. And if I'm rotating through and have it on a schedule, and if I still don't reach this item that falls within that category, it's got to go to, because that means that it's something about it that I made a mistake, or I acknowledge that I made a mistake. And so instead of just getting rid, instead of just letting it go, instead of just throwing it away, instead of just making it go bye-bye, I'm just holding on to it. Why am I holding on to it? I ain't got that much space. I ain't trying to keep things to keep things. I'm not a collector like that. I'm not a collector like that. There's a method to the madness. There really is a method to the madness. And if I were to have this New Year's resolution or revolution, it would be to get rid of the things that I ain't touched in multiple years. If it's been a couple months, it's on my radar. If it's been a few days, it's on my radar. But if it's been years, it's gotta go. It's gotta go, and make room for the things that's already there, and make room for the things that I'm already using, and make room for the things that I actually fancy more. And by doing this, it's going to refresh my memory on all of the things that I do have, and is also going to put me in a position where I am not going to let this happen again. If I make a mistake, or I get something and it isn't what I thought it would be, or if it isn't something that I hoped and wished it was, just let it go. Just let it go. Get rid of it. Don't hold it for the future and say, I might need to, this might come in handy, because history has shown me. I got them receipts. I got them documents. I got that data, and all this data that's floating and flying around in my mind, along with the equations and stuff, even the gut feeling and intuition saying, you know the truth. The data even agrees with us. And when does the data agree with us? The data doesn't usually agree with us, but the data agree with us on this. You ain't gonna use it. There ain't gonna be a time, happenstance, magic, luck, by chance, that you will use this. And that's where I'm at now. That's where I am now with this. If I ain't use something in X amount of time, I'm not going to use it. So just might as well find a place for it to go. And if I, in the future, get something, and if I ain't used it within a certain date, just go ahead, admit the mistake. Just go ahead and hold the L, because holding the L early on is going to prevent the L from later on, when I actually need space, when I actually need room, when I actually need to create a system or reframe the system so it can be more efficient. But I have to account for these things and objects that I'm not going to use, even though I envision that I will use it one day. I'm just going to go ahead and trust the gut feeling. I'm just going to go ahead and shake my head and say, okay, data, I agree with you. You win. You win. This ain't going to ever get used by me. So it's got to go. I ain't trying to hold on to things to just hold on things. I don't operate in that camp. I don't move in that category. That ain't who I am. I was and am the guy who focuses and understand the future and just try to be over prepared. But this over preparedness and focusing on the future got my present looking a little bit shady, got my present looking a bit like something I don't want it to be. And so in honor and to respect my present, I'm gonna have to sacrifice the future. If it come up, it comes up. If it doesn't, so be it. But the numbers, yes, the data and gut feeling and intuition got my back. And it says that these occasions just don't happen. All of this stuff that I was preparing for in the future, that thought that the future was going to go a certain way within my own mind's eye, and only to figure out that in that fantasy land, when it comes to reality, it ain't the same. It is not the same. So being over prepared for a future that I envision that's not happening or taking place while sacrificing my reality and my present just because I'm holding on to something that I am using in the future, but not caring for in the present and regretting in the past. I just made that made sense. Even though I don't need the New Year's resolution or revolution to acknowledge this or to set this arbitrary date of accomplishing or not accomplishing. It is just something that I'm going to add to my list of to-do lists, my list of goals. And no, I don't write it down. I don't write them down anymore. I just put them up in my mind. And it's not a future thing. It is a present thing. And being able and getting rid of the things that I don't use, I'll become more efficient, more mindful in seeing all of the things that I do use. And I can go from there. I can retool, refine, reframe the system and be more efficient when it comes to what I want to do and how I want to do it, and have more room to do stuff in, have more space to do things in. It is a win, even though I'm taking an L because I purchased it in the first place. But that is gonna make me a little bit more critical when I come to purchasing something and thinking about the immediate future or the distant future. Cause who knows? That future may never come. That future may never happen. Present day, present tense. Do I need it? Is it worth it? Is it improving? Is it adding something of value to my life? If it's adding something of value that I need and that I will continuously use and improve my life or make it more efficient or just be something that I can entertain myself with and not just forget about and not just not use anymore. And it just becomes an item that becomes another item. And then there's a collection of items that's never been used, that never will be used, and that was used and ain't it. That one reframe and change of the mindset affects all of those things in a positive way. I don't need the New Year's resolution or revolution to figure out that needs to be done. That should be done. I can just look around and see all of the things that I ain't using that needs to go. You ain't got to go home. You ain't got to go home, but you got to leave here. You got to get to stepping. You got to move on. You got to move on. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. Be sure to check out the new and improved website at xtra.vdgsports.com. That is xtra.vdgsports.com. This episode is not being sponsored by VinceDouglasGregory.com. VinceDouglasGregory.com is where you can keep up with me, my whereabouts, my well-being, basically all things Vince. Guess what? There's a YouTube as well. Everything is there. Like, subscribe, share. Basically, do whatever it is you do there. Comment if you must. Comment if you must. Everything is there. And that is VDG Sports. Noob, thank you for the time. Gladly, greatly appreciate. Regs, it's time to go. I'm peace out.